Jim Bayless. I was born November 11, 1914 in Bruceton. This film was made by DVR in the 30s and 40s. I had his old film put on a tape or VCR. I will try to tell you some of the people on it. You may also recognize the teachers. The first picture is some of the teachers. CHS, Bill Taylor, Mr. Cooper, Miss Wright, Miss Okamay, and Mr. Donald. There's the old Ag building. There's the old Northern Methodist Church. There's the old Primitive Baptist Church. There's the First Baptist Church, old First Baptist Church at Bruceton. The next picture will be the ice plant. You'll see Mr. John White, which is Lillian White's daddy, drawing ice, making ice. You'll see him drawing a 300-bar ice. Looks like he's drawing it out of the floor, drawing it out by hand. He and his brother, Monroe White, run the ice plant. You see Mr. White in the ice house where they keep the ice from melting. There's the old Bruceton Ice and Coal Company that stood on the railroad for years. This boy getting in the truck delivers ice down there. I can't call his name, but I know him. There's the old coal chute that coals engines that come through Bruceton. There's the old wash house, the old oil house, and the old firehouse that made electricity for Bruceton before TVA. There's a 609, there's the old roundhouse in the background. There's the old water tank. There's the firehouse again. There's the home bank at Bruceton. You'll be looking down Main Street here. Graham Funderburk came to Bruceton in about 1930 and took about $10,000 and started the bank. There's an old vault in the bank. He run the 10,000 to about so many million. Here's a conference room. You'll see Mr. Funderburk standing down at the end of the conference room, and this pretty woman here is Miss Mary Elizabeth Mitchell, Dennis Blackwell's mother and Dan's wife. There's Mr. Mathis, the shoeman. There's Mr. Funderburk again. There's the Twin City Times building. There's where they printed the paper. Here's the Twin City Times building again. There's Martha Nance, the pretty girl is Martha Nance. Her goodness and personality made her one of the most popular girls in school. Her brother, James Nance, still lives at Kingston Springs. There's some more old roundhouse. See the old roundhouse in the back, more engine, old turntable there. Back in the steam engine days, there's about 150 people worked down there on 3 shifts. And there's 609. There's a 284. That carried that was one of the fast passenger engines. Carried Mr. McKelvey's got a couple up in 2 cars to National Hire in 5 minutes. There's Pat Blackwell, Tom McGarrigle. This man coming out now will be Cotton King's daddy, Hobart King. There's Mr. Dabney. There's Raymond Holly to turn his cap around, Uncle Lester Taylor. Now you'll see with a black hat on down there will be Arch Register. And Uncle Lester Taylor, black cap on, Robert White, Reuben Dodd, Mike Waters, Jim Bayless, Leon White, and Mr. Holly. There's Johnny Rhodes and William Holly. Johnny Rhodes is doing some kind of announcement at NBC. We think that's Dick R. there with a cowboy suit on. There's Carl Eaton trying to sell Howard Parks Alice Shelmer tractor. Howard, that's Philip Parks' daddy. There's Carl's little boy. He's demonstrating that tractor out there where the old factory's built now, old HIS. Carl gave him the land to build a factory on and sold him the rest of it. He owned all this land around here. He came from Benton County to Bruceton as a barber about 10 years, saved up and traded, wheeling dealer they called him, and saved up $200,000 or $300,000, went to San Antonio, Texas, and run it to $10 million. There's the old Legionnaires at Bruceton. I'll start with the bald-headed man here, which is Brother Hastings, Tommy Miller, Oscar Harris, Harrison Baldwin, Molly Wilson, and Mr. Crawley. There they come again. Right there is Pat Blackwell. There's an old dog out in the street. I don't know who that is. That's Arch Register's house you see way down below the post office. There's Bob Poole, that's Chief of Police in Bruceton. There's the old switch yard in Bruceton, the ladder track you can see goes down through there. Switchmen like J.E. Moody and Willie Birch would switch as many as 5,000 cars in 24 hours. Don't sound right, but it's true. There's old Central High School building looking down the main lines towards Bruceton. There's Neil Hargrove and Bill Bill Hargrove and Bill Herring, boxing match. I don't know who won, but they're putting on a pretty good boxing match. They hired the old drugstore, Smith Drugstore. That's Chalk Langston. That's Billy and Harry Langston's daddy going in the drugstore. There's a man that I've known all my life that can't call his name. There's the street, you can see them old cars. That's downtown Bruceton. There's Fred Gill Reed Lumber Company. You'll see Thomas Wiles, who is Rita McGee's daddy, and Painter Pate. There's Thomas Wiles, and there's Pate the painter. He's looking at some colors. There's Thomas Wiles again, and Pate the painter again. He married Pate the painter, married Ruby Glisson. There's Thomas Wiles. You'll see Carl Williams. Carl Williams is Juanita's daddy. There's Carl Williams again, looking around. Now there's Billy Langston, an old dance hall down next to the bank in Bruceton. There's Ralph Harris and his wife. You'll see a woman with a white scarf on standing by a man. That'll be Inez French and Johnny French. There they are. There's Inez and Johnny French, Bobo French's daddy and mother. And they had a dance on Friday or Saturday night, I forget which, nearly every week. They didn't have no drinking, didn't have no dope, and we didn't know what dope was back then, just good, clean fun. Sometimes they had a live band. And after a while, you'll see my sister and her husband dancing. I'll point them out to you when they show up. They was teenagers then, and they've been married 55 years. They'll do a little jitterbug in here in a minute, and then Edna and Emery will show up. Let's get them by. There's Inez and Johnny again. There's the jitterbuggers down here. Here comes Edna and Emery around the corner. There's Emery Herring and my sister. There's teenagers then. They got kids 54 years old. There's Billy Langston again. And there's Conway Jenkins, Jenkins Garage, Conway Jenkins, and Frank McKinney. Conway Welding. You see Frank McKinney fixing flat out here in front of the garage. That's where Martin Batt's place is now. That's Jenkins' old garage. There's the Methodist Church at Hollow Rock. There's the old school at Hollow Rock. The first teacher there's Morris Moore, married Mary Elizabeth Mackin, which is Olin Mackin's sister. There's Ronald McGee in the middle. There's Polly Cox's chickens running across the street. There's Lordell Rowland, the teacher at Hollow Rock. There's Annelle Darger, teacher at Hollow Rock. There's old water tank at Hollow Rock. There's Opal Morris, she's a teacher at Hollow Rock. Radio ought to be in there somewhere, but I can't pick him out. There's another little class at Hollow Rock. Didn't have a teacher, I don't know. I don't know that teacher there. That's at Hollow Rock. Now here's a Bruceton beauty shop. You'll see Dolores Parks combing somebody's hair there. She had one of the first beauty shops in Bruceton. Her helper there is Virginia Snyder, married Paul Arnold. There's Dolores again. There she is again. Now here comes Virginia Snyder. Virginia Snyder, that's Paul Arnold's wife. There's Parks Grocery, downtown Bruceton. There's Miss Parks behind the counter. You'll see some people you might know here. There's Beck Harden there. There's Mr. Parks. There's Beck Harden in the back. She married Lance French. There's a little boy that Mr. Parks gave a piece of candy. He grabbed it and run. Here's the pool room. Bruceton, that man on the left there's Henry Hollingsworth, Mary Taylor's husband. That's me with a cap on. That's my hand there on the table shooting. That's Bill Brasher cutting West of Holly's hair. That's the bowling alley. Dudley Val owned the bowling alley. Dudley Val was a good athlete. He made the first touchdown Central High School ever made. He was also a good businessman. I dealt with him all my life. He always gave me a square deal. I rented a building from him for 25 years. And his death, he gave it to me. There's Buford Cooper, Mr. Cooper's brother, helping Dudley run over. There's a United Grocery Company owned by Mr. Vernon Hay. You'll see the employees directly. You'll see Tanny Larkin and Biden Arnold and Red Larkin, Ralph Harris, Jack Allen, Mr. Hay, and Joe Shouse. There's Mr. Hay again. There's Miss Hay, which was Bowden Arnold's sister, and she was a real fine woman and my good friend. There's old Rich Theater. Johnny Lockhart run the machines. I helped him run them to get in free. There's Miss Bess Durden's fashion shop. You'll see Betty McFadden in there getting a coat fit up. That's Charlotte McFadden's mother and Sam McFadden's wife. There's Daisy Whelan's hair rolled up. That's Jerry Megan's sister, Pat Whelan's wife. There's still in Miss Bess Durden's fashion shop. Here we go back in Mr. Mathis's shoe shop. Mr. Mathis had customers from Nashville, Memphis, Chattanooga, Knoxville. I guess he was the best shoe man in the United States. That teacher there looks like Miss Elizabeth Nance. I don't know whether it is or not. There's Miss Wright there. Ain't Myrtle, that's Neil Wright's aunt. And there's old Central High School looking out the window up there. I believe that's Bruce Robinson in the middle there. And I don't know who some of them are. You might recognize them. There's Johnny Minor Cunningham. His classmate said he was grown when he was born. He wound up as general manager of New York Central Railroad. There's Bruce Robinson in the middle, back in the back. This next class, I believe, would be Bill Taylor. And I was raising the flag at Central High School. They raised it every morning. There's Bill Taylor. He had a class out there. I don't know what class that was. He was teaching. I remember him teaching. There's Monk Harris on the left. And there's them two girls on the right. That's my sister and Madeline Hay. Mr. Vernon Hay's daughter. There's Mr. Radford's house where Paul Cooper lives now. This is in the office where Mr. Cooper and Mr. Darnell was. They were real fine teachers. They could either one taught at Vanderbilt. They was that smart. There's the old study hall. And next you'll see the home ec department upstairs. There's the girls. They all wore uniforms. They had lockers to put the uniforms in. And they there's all kind of cook vessels and stuff. They're stirring up something to cook there, and you'll see the teacher back there standing by the window, Miss Oakley May Walker. There she is. This pretty girl with a smile on her face here is Dorothy Easton. She's from Dale married J.S. Hall. They live somewhere in Georgia. This is a chemistry class or the biology class. The next picture you see up on the wall, Monk Harris will be on the left. That's Monk Harris on the left. And them others, you might know who they are. There's Miss Lillian White. She was a teacher out at the grammar school out there where the nursing home is now. There's Miss Sue McMack and Joe Arnold, Joe Arnold's wife. They walked there. Joe Arnold's old mutt, dog, Joe Arnold's dog. There's Miss Sue and Joe. Here comes Miss Sue McMack and Joe Arnold's wife and Joe Arnold. That's out at the grammar school where the nursing home is now. And you'll see that's Matthew Elkins. He was a janitor out at the grammar school. And here's some of the classrooms out at the grammar school. I helped clean up out there once in a while. I remember that classroom there with all them dogs. There's Joe Arnold, Miss Sue McMack, and Miss Elizabeth Nance, Joe Arnold's wife, and Lillian White. There's Matthew Elkins again, the janitor at the grammar school. Little girl skipping the rope. I used to know who she was, but I forgot. There goes the kids out again. They're running out to play. There's L.E. Crawley, brought the telephone company to Bruceton. Christine Crawley's daddy. She married Parnell Taylor. He was the mayor of Bruceton. There's Ann Ballard. Her brother was Moran Ballard, chief dispatcher of Bruceton. That's Templeton Park, donated to the town of Bruceton by the NC Railroad. This next picture coming up will be the old American Legion, where the American Legion lived, down in the part of Bruceton. There's old Central High Gym. We'll see the girls' basketball team. I don't remember who the coach was. Somebody ought to recognize it. Looks like a bunch of good-looking girls. Look like they might have a good team there. They look pretty good here. Look pretty fast. So this next team will be the boys' team. There's Bill Taylor. He is a coach. There's Cotton King. I believe he is a assistant coach. I don't know whether he's a player or not. And there's Cotton behind. It's the fender zone. And here's comes the kids. And that's all of it. Hope you enjoyed it.